Hello, everybody. This is Bobby from Full Tilt Weather. We're going to be talking about possible tropical storm Gamma and what could happen here and what really couldn't happen here. There are three trending possibilities currently. None of them really seem to affect the United States a whole lot, but it's definitely something to watch. You know, the ridge breaks away early. You could have a tropical storm headed for, South Texas. That could happen. So it's definitely something, you want to keep in mind. But here are the model runs right now. Expected tropical storm or Invest 91L. It's not tropical storm strength just yet. It would be from this depiction. It would be named Tropical Storm Gamma from that depiction. You can see it tries to strengthen, goes north of the Yucatan, gets dumped off to the south. This is another big problem we're dealing with later in the month, around the 14th, 15th. This is a strong cold front. This is going to be more than likely trending to be our first real severe weather event we've seen since April. Encasing most of the usual areas that see severe weather east of the Colorado Rockies. And these are all predicted little spin-ups that occur as the high moves. This is a big issue we're dealing with right now. So we're going through what's called a fall equinox. Well, this equinox creates a change in gravity. So gravity has to change our usual high cycles. So this has become a real bad thing because we go back here. This is our usual cycle we have seen through all of this hurricane season. Stuff firing down coming out of West Africa. A lot of initiation around the Cayman Islands. Stuff moving northeast. Gulf has stayed and been the primary thing. Well, that high is expected to fold. Anything coming along this area right in this time frame could be a big problem. And you keep moving forward and you see the high starts to form up. You get a low form between the high. A lot of this is real iffy from the distance we're dealing with because we're dealing 15, 16 days in the future. A lot of this is real iffy, but there's definitely going to be a high change that's going to occur because we're going through a pre-equinox cycle. The atmosphere is trying to move away from hurricane activity and move back into severe activity. So far, it's failed to do that. Now, we're going to look at this high bracket a little closer. So, this was the 28th of September. As you can see, we continue to have that raging cold air coming out of Canada. Man, I almost said Australia. Coming out of Canada. And as it continues to come across, that creates a protection for the United States. Because this is kind of like a bubble that a hurricane cannot... any tropical storm cannot crack through a high. Very few survive interacting with a high. The most notable one to ever do that would be Florence. Very few survive it. This is another issue around the 13th to 16th. The next large cold air distributing from the north appears to bring in a very linear line. This line could be pretty dangerous, honestly. Let's just look over the southern part of this real quick. We're going to go up. This is just kind of a side forecast, sorry. Oh yeah. I need to do the page forecast for this too. There's going to be a slight chance here from Wichita Falls into the boot of Missouri for some isolated severe weather Sunday. I think I talked about that in a post already. But moving forward here, and there it is. 14th, 13th, 14th, 15th. And more than likely, whenever the short range models get onto it, it'll move it into Dixie Alley around the 16th and maybe into the eastern portion of the United States the 17th. This is well out of range of medium range models. We're going to take a pull on it just for giggles. The actual how bad this line's going to be, that's well undecidable. This is just kind of a idea. GFS thinks 50 mile an hour southwesternly moving into 1,800 Cape, 136 DC. Nice link. There's hail cores occurring in that. LFC's not meeting level free convection very well. Don't have much inhibition. Not a very good pull. Tornado unlikely. 60 mile an hour winds. It's not particularly a very dominating run. There is a little rotation in this pull, but not much. I do expect that to drastically change a lot over the next couple of days. Whenever we start to trend into that cycle around the 9th, that's going to become a hot topic. Right now, it's just kind of well, we know it's coming, but we don't really know what it's going to do. Because, see, the low that's firing this is already initiated. So it makes sense that this would be a threat coming across the United States. I don't even need the model to figure that out. You know, you can just go back through a satellite run and figure that out pretty easily. Let's go do one other thing here. These are the model runs right now currently for Invest 91L. As you can see, a lot are expecting it to move across the Yucatan. I don't know about that. I really wish we had better weather instruments along this area through, the Yucatan and Nicaragua and all that area. We do have these buoys out here, but there appears to be a bit of a high occurring right through this area. But the thing is that's going to fold up to the north over Cuba. So more than likely it will track up somewhere around through here. I think the models are pushing it way too far south. It being able to get into the United States right now is rather unlikely. And the reason that is you see all this 1019, 1013, 1020 even here through Corpus area, 1021. Well, these are all very, very violent highs. The whole United States is running a high all the way from basically west of Key West to the tip of Texas, all the way into about the Groom Lake range in New Mexico, pushing all the way up into almost Juneau, Alaska, pushing around through Winnipeg, all the way into basically Cleveland to down around Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, so this is all that cold air I was talking about. This is the general parameter it's running in right now. There is a little bit of a change here through Florida and some of the coast right in this area. A little warm front formed. As you can see, this area is 1020. If we go down to Richmond, Virginia area, we're dealing with 1012. Severe weather can occur in 1012. Severe weather cannot occur in 1017. Just an impossibility. They got a plane out there now. Guess that's a pre-scoop. More than likely, they're looking to see what the upper air dynamics is occurring through this area. And if you notice, that was a really well-planned flight, because this is where we're seeing the 1016, 1017 break off away from some of these 1019s. So this is a more likely area if it was to come and be able to get to the United States. Somewhere between New Orleans and Tampa's the place. That was pretty easy to figure out a couple days ago, and still pretty easy to figure out. But that's kind of what we're looking at with Gamma right now. We do have another one right about here that more than likely will either become, this is the more dominant one, probably become Tropical Storm Gamma if this one doesn't, or Delta. Because we're moving through the Greek alphabet nowadays. And we're just going to take up satellite here. This is the last 12 hours. We have a lot of things occurring here. This is Invest 91L right here. The new one is forming right here. We have another wave trying to form west of West Africa. We have another wave ejecting off of West Africa. We have another possible one trying to form just in between these two high brackets. So we had looked at the model earlier. There's a high bracket that's forming this and pushing it up to the north. This is remnants of that same line that we had seen come across the United States just a couple days ago. But it's Invest 91L is feeding it moisture currently. And there's another circulation north of West Africa. All of these two are not really threats because they're encased in highs. This one looks to be encased in a high across the United States. This one, the new one that hasn't been called an Invest yet, has a chance to get to the United States. I don't really think 91L has much of a chance. I would say less than a 2% chance it makes it to the United States. I mean, it still needs to be watched, but I don't think it'll make it. This one, it's going to be far enough behind that high, we could see it make it. And same area is going to look very likely somewhere between New Orleans and Tampa. This one currently is projected to move somewhere between Melbourne, Florida, and Jacksonville, North Carolina. This new wave, it hadn't got on the water yet. Really kind of hard to tell. But the way the cycles are going, I'm going to say somewhere between Jacksonville, North Carolina, and Brownsville, Texas. That's going to be the general area. But due to tropical weather, this is an extremely long video. I'm sorry about that. But that's kind of what we're looking like with the tropics now. And I added the whole convective cycle in there too. So these are kind of the possibilities we've been looking at and have looked possible. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Everyone have a blessed day. And if you like the video, please like the video. Follow. I don't know. All them YouTubers say that's what you need to do. I don't know about it. I'm just a meteorologist. That's all I've done. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm out.